Accomplish, and what happened?
Well, the issue of Senate Bill 257 was a culmination of a heartfelt bill for me that goes all the way back to when I was running for public office. When I ran for office, I talked with people in different places and asked them what was the difficult things that they had to do in their work, in their job. And I asked that same question of school teachers. And I heard from teachers many times tell me something that I was not aware of, and that was that classroom supply dollars had been eliminated from state budgets, and they had to take those dollars out of their own pocket many times, or either ask parents to supply additional dollars to be able to buy the basic supplies that kids need in school, whether it's crayons or copy paper or worms to dissect in the ninth grade, whatever's required. So it stuck with me. And as time went along, I made my mind up that this type of a piece of legislation was going to be something I was going to work on as diligently as I could. So this session, I brought the legislation, had it put together. There's not a companion bill. This is all my bill. And I talked with teachers, and many of them were very excited. They had lost these dollars as supplies, and they were excited about it. So as we moved along through the process, I put the bill together and had conversations with many of my colleagues, Republicans and Democrats, and the idea that we're putting these supplies back into the classroom was something that they appreciated. I talked with the budget chair for the education budget, as well as different members of the education committee. They were very supportive of this, and so I lobbied the rules committee to make sure this was on the calendar for us to be able to debate. And so I get to the mic today and offer my bill, and excited because this is going to be new $300 for every class, for every teacher, kindergarten through the 12th grade in the state of Alabama, to use however they need to in their classroom. And when I get to the podium, I wind up with a scenario to where an amendment is offered to dramatically increase the amount, which would be further than anything I had thought about before. And no one had come to me about this beforehand. We're here having to be forced by state law to deal with the sunset legislation. And so this was only a few minutes before sunset. They offered this legislation and then talked about the legislation the remainder of the time. Therefore, the bill died. And so I had no ability to move it forward to be able to put in the statute that these dollars, $300, would be available to every classroom teacher every year from now on. That was my goal. But my hope is that we're going to be able to come back and be able to offer this bill again. And if someone had to come to me prior to the debate on the floor and said, Senator, could we increase it? If they'd have tried to have offered an amendment in committee that said, hey, can we add $100? Can we do something different? What are our options here? I would have been excited to have worked with anybody because, again, this is a passionate issue for me, and it's important. I've got 3 sons that are in public school, and we need those kinds of supplies in the classroom. But no one came to me, so I didn't have any ability to do anything other than the bill die.
Senator, do you think something larger is at work here besides your bill?
I don't know what the deal is. I'm struggling to understand it myself. I mean, I know my colleagues in the Democrat Party are very much for school teachers. They espouse that constantly, as well as the members of our caucus are very much for teachers. We've got difficult budget issues. This was a hard-fought topic for me to try and do all that was required to get to a place where we could pass this out of the Senate, and then for this to happen to where the bill was not able to be passed is very disappointing to me, and I think will be disappointing to classroom teachers across Alabama that now we have to continue to wait to figure out how can we get this through. The session is moving along, and I would have hoped to have gotten this out today because I've already got colleagues in the Alabama House that are excited about this to help me move it along through the process. But after today, I don't know when we'll be able to do that. I hope soon.
Why? I just don't understand. Why would they want to? What would be the point of them doing this or offering them a map? But why wouldn't someone want this bill to go through? Like you said, everyone's in favor of teachers. Everyone knows how strapped they are in the classroom. It just
Morgan, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, if someone would have come to me prior, I would have been happy to have worked with them. I would have been happy to have gone to the committee chair for education, gone to the committee members, lobbied for the program to be something different. I was interested in I was willing to do that. And I've never heard any opposition until I get to the microphone to try and offer the bill today. So that's what was surprising to me.
So when is the earliest this can be back on the agenda for the Senate to vote on it?
Well, I'm going to be pushing and lobbying, as I have been, the Rules Committee to be able to put this back on the order calendar as soon as possible. So it'll be my job, my goal, because this is a passionate issue about this for me personally. I'm going to keep on doing everything I've been doing to push this bill, push this legislation, and try as best I can to be able to have $300 in the classroom for every classroom teacher to be able to utilize as they teach our kids. It's important.
Do you think,
How is this different from the governor's proposal? Is it similar or something like that, the $300 issue?
Well, I think it was different than the governor's proposal, and again, I don't want to speak on the detail of someone else's legislation. I understand the governor had a proposal that was a tax deduction. Basically, you spend the dollars and then you get to deduct it on your taxes. I mean, that's a fine idea, but my goal was to go ahead and give the teacher the $300 in the classroom up front when they're using the money so that they could utilize that for things that are important to them in their class. See, one thing I've heard over and over again, ink cartridges. Ink cartridges. They're very expensive, and many times those are things that teachers need in the class that they don't have supply money to be able to purchase.
do you think that this could be an issue? I know that, I guess this is just speculation, but, since Democrats are always all about teachers' rights, AEA obviously is a huge supporter of getting more money in the classroom. Do you think maybe they're just mad that they didn't come up with this, or this isn't their bill and they wanted to be the one that passed, a Democrat passed this to get more money in the classroom?
Well, I don't know if that's the case, but what I can tell you is that the Alabama Education Association has been very positive. As a matter of fact, I was on the front page of the AEA Journal just a couple of days ago because they were so excited about this piece of legislation, and they have given me encouragement as we've moved forward on this. So, I would think that the AEA was supportive of this. I don't know why that they would not have been. They told me they were.
Yeah.
So,
well, is there anything else you want to tell us?
I think that's basically it.
Okay. Thanks.